Hello and welcome to today's lesson. I'm your hard-working but indefatigable teacher, Mr. Burton. You will need to watch this video and take notes as you go. You may need to watch certain parts of the video a few times to ensure complete understanding. This is your homework and I will check your notes tomorrow before we get started. I hope you learned something.
Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Today we start our new topic, market research. We'll divide it up into two parts. First part now. Why do companies and businesses do market research? Our definition of market research is the process of collecting, recording and analysing data about customers, competitors and the market. Now, market research is a very big, wide process. It's concerned not just with finding out as accurately as possible whether consumers are going to buy a product or not, but they're also trying to analyse and gauge the consumer's reaction to things like different price levels, different types of promotion, new types of packaging, and different ways that consumers can receive their goods, amongst many other things. Okay, reasons to do market research. If a company is coming out with a new product, a product launch, it wants to do some market research first. It wants to investigate potential demand for a new product or service, and by doing so the business should be able to understand the chance of the new product achieving satisfactory sales. Now, although market research can't guarantee success, good market research is still a key part of the new product development process. Market research will take the risk out of launching a new product. There will still be risk, but market research mitigates that risk somewhat. Market research can predict future demand changes. A travel firm, for example, may wish to investigate social and other changes to see how these might affect the demand for holidays in the future. So perhaps the growth in the number of single persons households could suggest there might be an increase in demand for holidays targeted just at singles. Market research is not just undertaken for new or planned products. If you have an existing product, you still need to be conducting market research too. Take for example Gap, the fashion retailer. At the end of 2014, sales had fallen in 28 of the last 31 months. Now Gap managers were prepared to find out why that happened, and if they weren't prepared to do that, they wouldn't be able to take the action to stop the decline in sales. Businesses will be producing variations on their product and variations in the promotions they're using to target consumers. Now, consumer tests of different versions of a product or a proposed advert to promote it is going to help a business understand those aspects of the design and performance that consumers like the most, they rate most highly. These things can then be incorporated, built into the final product. So market research can discover information about market size and consumer tastes and trends, the product and its strengths and weaknesses, the promotion being used and the effectiveness of that promotion, competitors and their claimed USPs, which distribution methods are most preferred by customers, and consumers' preferences for the type of packaging surrounding the product. A whole lot of reasons to do market research. Now, where do companies get their market research data? There are two types of research data that we're interested in. Primary research, and this is where firms go out and collect the data themselves. They collect the data that's directly related to the firm's needs. Secondary research, we are collecting data from second-hand sources. So primary research collects first-hand data that have been collected by the organisation for the first time for the business's own needs. Contrast this with secondary research. There is data that already exists, and the firm uses that and analyses it for their own ends. So the data was originally collected by another organisation, often for a different purpose, and secondary research can often be referred to as obtaining second-hand data. Secondary research should be undertaken first if the data exists, but if it doesn't, then the planned product is so different. Like, for example, if the planned product is so different, there may not be any second-hand data available. Qualitative research and quantitative research are two other types of market research data we're also interested in. Qualitative research, we are talking about research and the in-depth motivations behind consumer buying behaviour or opinion. What consumers think, how they're reacting, why they think and react this way. Quantitative research, on the other hand, is research that leads to numerical results. Numerical results that can be presented and analysed, often through the use of different types of statistical analysis. So take, for example, quantitative research may establish the size of a potential market for a new luxury ice cream, but we don't know if consumers are going to buy it for its taste and the quality of its ingredients, or because it's going to be promoted as a lifestyle product that will reflect on consumers' image of themselves. Now, only qualitative research will be able to answer that question. Primary research and methods of obtaining it: surveys, interviews, focus groups, observations. A survey, a detailed study of the market or maybe a geographical area, will gather data on attitudes, impressions, opinions, the satisfaction levels of products or firms by asking a particular section of the population. Interviews. Now, direct interviews are conducted by an interviewer, and the interviewer will be specifically trained to avoid bias in the questions or the way they're asking the questions. Detailed questions can be explained to the person who's being interviewed, the interviewee. Follow-up questions can also be asked if needed. Focus groups. Here the firm will get a group of people or hire a market research firm to gather a group of people who are then asked about their attitudes toward a product, service, an advertisement or a new style of packaging. Focus groups can also find out in-depth information about behaviours and habits of consumers, perhaps in relation to areas of interest to the marketer. So take, for example, a cereal company might be very interested in the habits of a normal household. What's going on there in the morning? What are people doing around breakfast time? Observational technique. This is a qualitative method of collecting and analysing information, either directly or indirectly watching and observing others in business environments. So, for example, supermarket chains will employ people just to watch consumers walk around the supermarket. What are they doing? What are they picking up? What are they looking? What sort of discounts are grabbing their attention? Test marketing. Just take a small geographical area, launch the product into it, see what happens, test it out before implementing a full-scale launch, perhaps nationwide. A quick look at the focus group. Here's an example of one in action.
There's no all getting paid not to work for a little bit. Don't worry. That's our little secret. And I'd like you to think that this is just a bunch of your friends. Maybe this is a sorority or a bridal shower, a tea, or just a bunch of us celebrating, say, Allison's birthday at my apartment. You shouldn't be surprised, looking around the room, that we're here to talk about beauty. What are the things we all do to keep ourselves beautiful, or simply to enhance it?
I don't use Pond's, if that's what you're asking.
That's okay.
I'm of French extraction, and my mother has beautiful skin. She never washes her face. She's not dirty. She uses water, but nothing else.
And you do what she does? What does she do?
She stands at the sink, and she runs the water until it's just the perfect temperature, not too hot. And she splashes it on her face, and she pats her cheeks with her fingertips.
Oh, one time, Christmas Eve, we were staying up late and we were playing house, I guess.
You shouldn't do things for them. They don't appreciate it. You don't think they appreciate you being beautiful?
We broke up a year ago. Actually, I don't know what he noticed, but it wasn't me, I guess.
It's worse when they notice sometimes. Allison, please continue.
It's nothing.
I feel like it doesn't matter what I see. It matters what he sees. I feel like I gave him everything, and I got nothing.
It's okay. She'll be all right.
Should I?
If she wanted to be around us, she would have stayed.
Sarah.
What do you do that makes you feel good about the way you...
That went very well.
You can stop the tape.
All right. Let's talk preliminary results. Well, I've done everything but finish the report.
How'd we do?
Well, turns out the hypothesis was rejected. I'd recommend a strategy that links Pond's cold cream to matrimony. A veiled promise.
Hello, 1925. I'm not going to do that. So, what are we going to tell the client?
I can't change the truth.
How do you know that's the truth? A new idea is something they don't know yet, so of course it's not going to come up as an option. Put my campaign on TV for a year, then hold your group again, maybe it'll show up. You can't tell how people are going to behave based on how they have behaved.
Why are you being so hostile? You think I've never had this argument before?
Because you go in there and you stick your finger in people's brains, and they just start talking, blah, 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 just to be heard. And you know what? Not only does it have nothing to do with what I do, but it's nobody's business.
Well, you're the client.
That's right.
Okay, so our focus group, a group of people who are asked about their attitudes towards a product, service, a particular advertisement or new style of packaging. And focus groups can also find out in-depth information about behaviours and habits of consumers in relation to areas of interest to the marketer. Right, so the good and the bad of primary research. The good, it provides up-to-date and more useful information than secondary data. It is more costly though. Market research agencies can charge thousands of dollars for detailed consumer surveys and to produce other market research reports. Primary research is relevant. It's specifically collected for a purpose, and the market research directly seeks out and addresses a question the business wants answers to. On the other hand, it is time consuming. Secondary data can be obtained from the internet much more quickly. Primary research is confidential. No other business is going to have access to the information that the business has collected, unless there's some sort of industrial espionage going on, corporate spying. On the other hand, there are doubts over accuracy and validity of primary research, and this is largely because of the need to use sampling, and there are risks in sampling, and we'll go into this a little bit more in the next presentation.